Toxic Ties presents 9 toxic boundaries to look for in a relationship. Establishing healthy relationships involves knowing the negative signs to stay away from. To begin with, we must identify what boundaries are. Boundaries are the limits you set for yourself in a relationship. They provide a clear demarcation between you and the people around you, making it more straightforward to stick to your own standards and principles and protect your private area. Setting healthy limits is crucial to your well-being. In doing so, they aid in maintaining honesty with oneself and safeguarding one's resources, including but not limited to time, energy, emotions, and space. Furthermore, they help you connect with others in positive ways. Even though everyone's boundaries get tested every once in a while, those with poor boundary maintenance frequently have difficulty maintaining healthy relationships. Here are 9 warning signs to look out for if you're wondering whether or not you have healthy limits. Number 1. You sense you have no say in what happens to you. There are a lot of problems out of your control, and you may not know where to begin to change them. The people around you may not be paying attention to your requirements, or you may lack the confidence to assert yourself. You may have been accustomed to other people meddling in your life to the point where it feels natural. There are no limits in these situations. Furthermore, nothing will improve unless you institute some boundaries and express yourself. Number 2. In general, you have a tendency to spill the beans. The likelihood that you need to work on your boundaries increases if you feel the need to broadcast details of your life, such as how many drinks you had last night or how much money you have in the bank. That's especially true if you don't bother to keep any aspects of your private life hidden from individuals who have no business knowing about them. When you're not used to setting limits for yourself, it can be challenging to communicate with others about what you are and are not willing to share. Number 3. The little things make you feel guilty. Guilt over minor transgressions is an indicator of boundary issues. Inadequate boundaries can also be evidenced by feelings of guilt when saying no to requests for help, such as when a friend asks you to watch their pet or meet you for coffee and you don't try to make it happen. It's possible that you're giving other people too much leeway and allowing them to take advantage of you. On the other hand, it might have a far more straightforward meaning. It could be difficult for you to say no. Number 4. The flow of your day will depend on the decisions of others. Lack of healthy boundaries is evidenced by a tendency to accept other people's demands regarding how you should spend your time. Saying no to other people's requests can be tough, especially if we're worried about hurting their feelings. Therefore, we frequently find ourselves in circumstances where we've promised too much and taken on too much work. The cost to our physical and mental well-being is frequently too high to justify. Over time, you'll do more harm than good to yourself and those around you if you consistently prioritize the needs of others over your own. Number 5. That you have difficulty deciding. It's tough to stick to a plan when you have weak boundaries that crumble under the weight of other people's criticism and suggestions. One can easily feel overwhelmed by options or get immobilized by indecision. Learn the importance of standing up for yourself and developing a healthy ego if you want to avoid being mistreated by others. When you reach that point, the options of others will no longer factor into your decision-making process. You'll accept yourself for who you are, regardless of what other people think. Number 6. You're afraid that people will leave you or reject you. When you need to place boundaries with other people, it might be difficult to do so. The stakes are higher if you're anxious about the other person's reaction. You might be hesitant to say anything negative because you care about the other person's feelings, or because you're worried that they'll reject or forsake you if they think you're not on their side. It's possible you're reluctant to establish boundaries for yourself out of concern that you'll be looked down upon or evaluated by others. Don't forget that you're not in charge of how other people are feeling. Nobody needs an explanation from you. And if anything doesn't sit quite right with you, you have every right to decline engagement. Number 7. To justify their actions, you find yourself apologizing for others. Do you tend to avoid confronting individuals about their bad behavior and instead make up stories in your head, such as how they weren't trying to offend you or how they were just kidding? When you do this, you show that you have poor boundaries and are willing to put someone else's needs and desires ahead of your own. When we have weak boundaries, we are more likely to rationalize away the negative effects of other people's activities, even if we know that we should be taking action. Number 8. The passive-aggressive traits are ever present in you. Unhealthy boundaries might sometimes manifest as passive-aggressive conduct. If you try to avoid arguments by suppressing negative emotions, or if you take revenge on others without revealing your motivations, you may be passive-aggressive. This doesn't work since it ignores the root source of the problem. Additionally, it causes others to be perplexed and angry. Number 9. Your relationships are difficult or dramatic. Your relationships may have weak boundaries if they are fraught with conflict, drama, emotional ups and downs, codependency, and/or physical or emotional abuse. Reasoning is straightforward. If you avoid confrontation at all costs and hence allow others to repeatedly transgress your boundaries, they will continue to do so. Moreover, if they are able to push your limits in tiny ways and get away with it, they will eventually do so in far more major ones. It's much easier to be taken advantage of or exploited by others if you don't know your own limits and requirements, or how to express them. The bright side is that it's something that, with some work, can be improved. Can you tell me what you think? When it comes to setting boundaries, how do you do it? Have you identified any gaps in this list after listening to it? Leave a comment and tell us what you think. Please like and share this video if you found it entertaining, as this will encourage us to produce more content like it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, subscribe and turn on notifications. Additionally, please view our other videos. We appreciate you taking the time to watch.